Hello, dear polymer clay enthusiast. Do you like faux enamel? I personally love the look of enameled pieces and I liked to try different things and ideas to get a faux enamel look for my jewelry pieces. And in this sweet and short tutorial, I'm going to show you an easy way to make beautiful earrings with a faux enamel look. So in order to make these balloon shaped earrings, I've used black polymer clay that I have previously conditioned, and then I passed the clay through the largest setting of my Atlas pasta machine, and then I used gold leaf to decorate this piece of polymer clay that is the right size for the balloon shaped cutter that I intend to use. I sandwiched the polymer clay piece between a beautiful wavy stamp and the cutter. And this kind of cutters, they have a push button, and this is a kind of a cutter and an embossing stamp, because you are cutting out a beautiful shape, but in the same time you are embossing the clay. And by pushing the clay into the stamp, I've embossed the back of the piece, and we are making these earrings in one session, I would say. But while working on the front of the piece, you have to be very careful not to press too much on the clay, because you will end up with a back with no pattern. I used the blade to remove the bottom part, which I don't intend to use in this design. And then I poured a little bit of liquid Fimo on the parchment paper, and using a thin brush I contoured the lines, the zigzag lines on top of the balloon. And then I'm just going to apply light blue glitter, and I'm sprinkling it out of the box. And of course you should put a piece of paper, a piece of parchment paper underneath your clay piece, and thus you will be able to collect afterwards the excess glitter. And then I contoured around two more zigzag lines, and sprinkled more glitter. Tap on the piece to remove the excess glitter, if you consider there is such excess on the piece, and keep baby wipes near. You might need them to clean up some areas on the piece. And then I decided to add a little bit of glitter on the margins of the piece that you should carefully smooth off using your fingers or your tools. But eventually I am going to use gold acrylic paint to color these margins to have a beautiful look from the sides as well. And then I prepared an improvised palette, and I added some Teal alcohol ink, and using a brush I am going to apply ink in between the lines made with the glitter. And the more ink you apply, the more accentuated the color will be. And then for the other parts of the balloon, I decided to use some lime green. And for my, let's say, trial piece, I tried to scrape off, to remove with my craft knife, to remove the gold leaf from certain areas, but eventually I didn't like this effect, and I decided to apply again more gold leaf in those areas and color them with the green alcohol ink. And as you can see, when applying more ink, the color gets a little bit darker and more accentuated. Then I decided to use large triangle jump rings. I thought they would fit this the shape of the balloon. And I am also going to use pointy crystal rhinestone in a black dark color, and I'm pressing them into the clay, but again press them lightly because you don't want to distort the pattern on the back, and because anyway these rhinestone pieces will get trapped in the resin, so you don't have to worry about them after applying the resin and curing the resin. So I used 5 dark burgundy, kind of black, pointed rhinestone crystals to embellish the piece. And then when you are happy with the look of the piece, you can bake your pieces in the preheated oven at the recommended temperature for 45 minutes. As usually I bake my pieces on parchment paper because I'm making the front and the back of the piece in the same time, and I'm used to putting an aluminum disposable pan on top to protect them from direct heat. Then I let the clay cool down and I was ready to apply the UV resin. Try not to apply too much resin and avoid drippings. Um, and I will say this again, you will have to wear gloves. You will have to be very careful when working with resin, work in well ventilated areas, use rubbing alcohol to clean your tools. And then I've cured the resin for 5 to 7 minutes using a UV lamp. Then I used a hand drilling tool to drill a hole in the center of the upper part where I intend to attach the earring findings. And so I prepared a larger jump ring that I am going to put inside the polymer clay piece. And then I'm going to attach a second smaller jump ring, and I am going to use a very beautiful heart-shaped stud earring component. And for the bottom part of the earrings, I decided to use ball head pins and pliers, and of course a black crystal drop. So I put the ball pin through the crystal, and then I used the round nose pliers to make a loop, and then put the triangle jump ring through the loop, and then I've just twisted the end of the round pin around the base 3 times, and then I used pliers to tuck the end in. And these are the finished earrings, and I hope that you like this idea, and I encourage you to use it in your work with polymer clay. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed and stay tuned for more inspiration for work with polymer clay.